Well, when I was a cowboy out on the western plain, when I was a cowboy out on the western plain, I made $500,000 working hard on the bridle rein. Come a cock-cow, you can come a cock-cow, yigga yigga yay. Come a cock-cow, you can come a cock-cow, yigga yigga yay. What was the greatest battle ever on the western plain? What was the greatest battle ever on the western plain? It's when me and a bunch of cowboys rode into Jesse James. Come a cock-cow, you can come a cock-cow, yigga yigga yay. Come a cock-cow, you can come a cock-cow, yigga yigga yay. Now when me and a bunch of cowboys rode into Jesse James, when me and a bunch of cowboys rode into Jesse James, the bullets were a-flying just like a shower rain. Come a cock-cow, you can come a cock-cow, yigga yigga yay. Come a cock-cow, you can come a cock-cow, yigga yigga yay. Look out, Jesse. Frank James. What was the greatest battle ever on Bunker Hill? What was the greatest battle ever on Bunker Hill? Is when me and a bunch of cowboys rode into Buffalo Bill. Come a cow-cow, you can come a cow-cow, yigga yigga yay. Come a cow-cow, you can come a cow-cow, yigga yigga yay.
Music there from the Irish blues rock guitar player Rory Gallagher covering the old Leadbelly track Out on the Western Plain. And we're taking a look at how early American musicians influenced the skiffle movement in England and Ireland and how the banjo continues from skiffle into the classic rock sound with bands like The Who, Fleetwood Mac, Led Zeppelin, and Elton John. We'll hear songs with banjos right now.
On her chest, but when daddy comes home he never gets no rest, 'cause she's playing all night and the music's alright. Mama can't sleep. There's no escape from the music in the whole damn street. 'Cause she's playing all night, and the music's alright. Mama's got a squeeze box, Daddy never sleeps at night. She goes in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. She's playing all night, and the music's alright. Mama's got a squeeze box, Daddy never sleeps at night. She goes, squeeze me, come on and squeeze me, come on and tease me like you do. I'm so in love with you. Mama's got a squeeze box, Daddy never sleeps at night. She goes in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. 'Cause she's playing all night, and the music's alright. Mama's got a squeeze box, Daddy never sleeps at night.
We're going to hear a song from Led Zeppelin called Gallows Pole. Now, Jimmy Page was involved in the skiffle movement, and he's going to become exposed to Leadbelly's version of this song, which Leadbelly recorded in 1939 at the outbreak of World War II. But what makes this interesting is it began as a folk music song in England 300 or 400 years earlier as a song called The Maid Freed from the Gallows. So it's going to start out in English folk music. It's going to come over and become American folk music and bounce back through the skiffle movement to the English kids. Now, what makes it interesting on top of that is that much like the rediscovery of blues by the American kids, the British kids are going to bring the blues back to America. We're going to rediscover it in the 1960s and re-embrace it as it moves kind of from a niche sort of genre to the forefront of classic rock. Let's hear this track from Led Zeppelin right here on Pacific Street Blues.
Hangman, hangman, hold it a little while. I think I see my friends coming, riding many a mile. Friends, you get some silver, you get a little gold. What did you bring me, my dear friends? Keep me from the gallows pole. What did you bring me? Keep me from the gallows pole. I couldn't get no silver, I couldn't get no gold. You know that we're too damn poor from the gallows pole. Hangman, hangman, hold it a little while. I think I see my brother coming, riding many a mile. Brother, you give me some silver, as you get a little gold. I want till you bring me my brother, keep me from the gallows pole. Brother, I brought you some silver, yeah. I brought a little gold. I brought a little of everything, keep me from the gallows pole. Yes, I brought you, keep me from the gallows pole.
of an example how we see the remnants of the influence of skiffle music through the banjo on some of the songs that we grew up with. Take a brief underwriter's break, and we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at another one of the Seeger children. Instead of Peggy, we're going to look at her brother, Mike Seeger, when we come back in just a moment.
You know, boys, I ain't played this in a long time. Wished I was in Bowling Green, sitting in my chair, one arm around my pretty little gal, the other around my dear, other around my dear. Bowling Green, oh, good old Bowling Green. If you see that man of mine, tell him once for me. If he loves another gal, I will set him free. Yes, I'll set him free. Bowling Green, oh, good old Bowling Green. Through this wide old world, I'm going through it alone. I'm going through this wide old world, I ain't got no home. I ain't got no home. Bowling Green, oh, good old Bowling Green. Oh!
Music there from the new Lost City Ramblers featuring Mike Seeger, as well as guest performing artist there, cousin Emma Carver, doing her song Bowling Green. Now, if we go back to the beginning of the show, we took a look at how a young African-American songwriter at the turn of the 20th century, when she was like 11 years old, wrote a song called Freight Train. That song gets picked up by the Grateful Dead, but it also emanates out when the children that she's helping to raise from the Seeger family, including Pete Seeger, Mike Seeger, and Peggy Seeger, go off into their individual careers. Now, we took a look at how when Peggy Seeger took Freight Train over and got involved with the skiffle movement, that becomes a foundational song that all the British classic rock guys are going to learn that song. Now we're going to take a look at Mike Seeger. He goes down to Greenwich Village and forms a band called the New Lost City Ramblers. And here's a kind of interesting coincidence, is while his sister is forming a band in London called The Ramblers, he's forming a band in New York City called the New Lost City Ramblers. And they're going to record songs. Now, what's interesting about it, of course, is that Bob Dylan eventually moves to Greenwich Village, and he says he's heavily, heavily influenced by the New Lost City Ramblers. He writes in his book, everything about them appealed to me. Their style, their singing, their sound. I liked the way they looked, the way they dressed. I especially liked their name. Their songs ran the gamut in style, everything from mountain ballads to fiddle tunes and railroad blues. I'd stay with the Ramblers for days at a time. I didn't know that they were replicating everything that they did off old 78 RPM records, but what would it have mattered anyway? It wouldn't have mattered at all. They had the originality in spades. They were men of mystery, and I couldn't listen to them enough. So the profound influence of Mike Seeger and the other guys in the band on Bob Dylan is well captured when we look at the vocabulary or the volume or the repertoire of the songs that Dylan's going to cover, including this relatively obscure track, Railroad Bill, which was originally done by the New Lost City Ramblers and later covered by Bob.
Railroad Bill, Railroad Bill, he never worked and he never will, and it's right. Railroad Bill, he was a mighty mean man. He shot the midnight lantern out of the brakeman's hand, and it's right. Railroad Bill, you know he took a wife. Said if I didn't like it, he would take my life. I'm gonna ride, ride, ride. Going up the mountain, going all west. 38 spickle sticking out of my vest. I'm gonna ride, ride, ride. Buy me a pistol just as long as my arm, and shoot anybody who does me any harm. I'm gonna ride, ride, ride. Railroad Bill, he never worked and he never will. Ride, ride, ride. Honey, think that I'm a fool. Think I would quit you when the weather is cool. Ride, ride, ride.
Music from Bob Dylan in the track entitled Railroad Bill. Now, the New Lost City Ramblers did not write that song. It was written by a guy named Puckett, but they're going to cover it, and they pick it up from the Harry Smith anthology series. So Harry Smith is this guy. He collects 78 RPMs, and he puts them all together on an album, a multi-disc album, and they put it out. And it kind of becomes the holy grail of American folk music, and the Lost City Ramblers are going to rely heavily on that, reproduce those songs, and represent them into the Greenwich Village scene, which is going to influence and be influenced by people like Pete Seeger, Dave Van Ronk, Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, Phil Oakes, and more. So they're going to be heavily influential of bringing that music back alive. In fact, Dylan is so influenced by the Lost City Ramblers that he refers to them on the notes for his Highway 61 album, and specifically a member of the band named John Cohen, who had shot photos of Dylan early in his career. So this anthology becomes highly influential, and it's going to carry a body of songs, but it's going to allow Mike Seeger to kind of leave his imprint as a member of that band on this scene, which is going to go on. I mean, people that come out of that scene, Jimi Hendrix was on that scene, Stephen Stills was on that scene, John Sebastian was on that scene, the Mamas and the Papas through the Mugwumps are on that scene. So it's a very influential scene. And here's a song by Raitt Cooder covering a track from that, Taxes on the Farmer Feeds Us All. And so if we take a look at this movement, it's going to be communist, right? Socialist. They're going to be looking for different styles of government. They're going to be expressing support for to end racism. They're going to be looking to support for a form of welfare state that supports larger groups of people. They're going to be pro-farm, pro-union. And so Raitt Cooder is going to grab that and release it on one of his early albums.
Through summer and through fall, but the mortgage worked the hardest and the steadiest of us all. It worked on nights and Sunday, it worked each holiday, settled down among us and it never went away. The farmer comes to town with his wagon broke broken down. The farmer is the man who feeds us all. If you'll only look and see, I know you will agree that the farmer is the man who feeds us all. The farmer is the man, the farmer is the man. He buys all his credit until fall. Then they take him by the hand and they lead him from his land. And the merchant, he's the man who gets it all. The taxes on the farmer feeds us all. Well, the banker says he's broke, and the merchants stop and smoke. They forget that it's the farmer feeds them all. It would put them to the test if the farmer took a rest. Then they know that it's the farmer feeds them all. The farmer is the man, the farmer is the man. Lives on his credit until fall. Well, his pants are wearing thin, his condition it's a sin, 'cause the taxes on the farmer feeds us all.
Music from Raitt Cooder as he explores traditional American folk music through the influence of the new Lost City Ramblers, which included Mike Seeger. And Mike Seeger's going to take us all the way back to his nanny, Elizabeth Cotten, who taught him the song Freight Train, and as well as how to play. Another interesting aspect of that song from Cooder is that it's produced by Jim Dickinson. Now, Jim Dickinson is going to produce a lot of people, including Brown Sugar and Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones, but his sons, Cody and Luther Dickinson, are the founding members of the North Mississippi All-Stars. Now, Cooder is going to go from exploring traditional American folk music to the influence of Hispanic music on American society, and he's going to be responsible for the smash hit album, The Buena Vista Social Club. So while Cooder is doing this, Taj Mahal is doing the same thing. He's exploring how music is coming over from Africa and the instruments of that into the American music scene. Today, one of the most influential bands on that sort of exploration of traditional folk music was a band called the Carolina Chocolate Drops, which features a guy named Dom Flemons. Also in the band are Justin Robinson and Rhianna Giddens, and they're going to found the genre of music that's just beginning to percolate up to the rest of us. It's called black string band music or old-timey music. The Carolina Chocolate Drops are going to record an album. It's going to get them a Grammy. It's called Genuine Negro Jig, and it's going to look at how the banjo came over from Africa and ends up in American music. And of course, we've been exploring how the banjo ends up in the skiffle movement over in England. And we're going to explore how it ends up in American music as well. But let's hear a great track from the Carolina Chocolate Drops featuring Dom Flemons, and a track here called Cornbread and Butterbeans.
table, eating them beans and making love as long as I am able. Hoeing corn and cotton too, and when the day is over, ride the mule and cut the fool and love again all over. Goodbye, don't you cry, I'm going to Louisiana to buy a coon dog and a big fat hog and marry Susiana. Sing song, ding dong, I'll take a trip to China. Cornbread and butter beans, then back to North Carolina. Cornbread and butter beans, and you cross the table, eating them beans and making love as long as I am able. Hoeing corn and cotton too, and when the day is over, ride the mule and cut the fool and love begin all over. Shoes and drinking booze, it goes against the Bible. A necktie will make you die and cause you lots of trouble. Streetcars and whiskey bars and kissing pretty women. Women, yeah, that's the end of a terrible beginning. And cornbread and butter beans, and you cross the table, eating them beans and making love as long as I am able. Hoeing corn and cotton too, and when the day is over, ride the mule and cut the fool and love begin all over. I can't read and don't care, and education is awful. Raising heck and writing checks, it ought to be unlawful. Silk holes and frilly clothes is just a waste of money. Come with me and stay with me and say you'll be my honey. And cornbread and butter beans, and you cross the table, eating them beans and I'm making love as long as I am able. Hoeing corn and cotton too, and when the day is over, ride the mule and cut the fool and love begin all over.
Music there from the Carolina Chocolate Drops featuring Dom Flemons in a song entitled Cornbread and Butter Beans. So we've taken a look at how Peggy Seeger is going to influence skiffle music, and that's going to carry the banjo and bounce up through classic rock. We've taken a look at how Mike Seeger is going to have a profound influence on the Greenwich music scene, including people like Dave Van Ronk, Phil Oakes, Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, as well as his brother Pete Seeger. So when we come back, we're going to take a look at Pete Seeger. Now, Pete Seeger is going to be this pro-union guy. He's going to be pretty avid, and he's going to be pretty far out there in terms of politics. He'll be in a band called the Almanac Singers. Now, the Almanac Singers will include Millard Lempel, Lee Hayes, Pete Seeger, and joined occasionally by Woody Guthrie. So we begin to see how influential Woody Guthrie is. And Woody Guthrie, at the same time that this band is going to go on, is going to have a very short-term another band, which is going to feature Leadbelly in it, as well as Brownie McGee and Sonny Terry. And they're going to do a couple of tracks as well. But Woody is going to very specifically fight for the working man. He's an Okie. He's coming out of severe poverty. He's kind of an itinerant musician, and he will have, as we learned earlier in the show, a profound influence on Ramblin' Jack Elliott, who is going to be at the foundation of skiffle music over in England, but also a young Bob Dylan. And so Woody's very influential. He's going to kind of hand the mantle, if you will, off to Ramblin' Jack, off to Pete Seeger, and off to eventually Bob Dylan, who hands it then to Bruce Springsteen. And you can kind of begin to see how Seeger's connection to Elizabeth Cotten and the track Freight Train is so influential on the development of American music. So we're going to hear a song called Which Side Are You On?
From all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell, of how the the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies, 'cause poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
So music there from Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger and the Almanac Singers. And Lee Hayes in that band goes on to write a song, If I Had a Hammer, which I'm sure we're all familiar with. But you can see how this period, 1940 to 1943 or so, folk music, American folk music, is very politicized. It's going to carry a strong pro-union message, and it's going to challenge the kind of capitalist system of America, because if you think about the Great Depression, it really wasn't working for a lot of people, right? And we're heading into a war, and there's a lot of anxiety in society, and people are not sure what they want. You know, they're beginning to question how things are at that moment in time. So if we take a look at this song, Which Side Are You On?, which has become a very famous song covered by a lot of people. In 1931 in Kentucky, there's a miners' strike. And in an attempt to intimidate the family of the Union leader, a guy named Sam Reese, the local sheriff, J.H. Blair and his men, are hired by the mining company to go and enter the home of Reese. Now, Reese has run away. He's fled. But his wife and the children are still there, and they're kind of terrorized by this experience, so much so that that night, Florence Reese writes on a calendar the lyrics to this song, and the song then becomes a staple within American folk music movement. Now, Pete Seeger, make no doubt about it, he's a communist, he's a socialist, he's not backing down, he's going to go into the Vietnam War and kind of carry the flag of the anti-war movement in the eyes of a lot of people. And so, but at the same time, he's very influential. And when you think about the songs that we were singing in elementary school, you know, Blowin' in the Wind, which is a Bob Dylan track, This Land Is Your Land, If I Had a Hammer, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? These are subversive songs if you like the way things are in America at the moment, okay? Because they're talking about a different vision of America, and Pete Seeger is going to embrace that. And again, we're going back to his nanny, Elizabeth Cotten, and she writes a song called Freight Train, which is taken by the Seeger children, Peggy Seeger, Mike Seeger, and Pete Seeger. They're going to take that song, they're going to push it throughout popular music, and it becomes a foundational platform of much of the music that we listened to in the 1960s into the 1970s. Well, let's listen to some of these songs made famous by Pete Seeger, and we'll start off with an interesting track by Freddie Scott. Now, he's going to reinterpret the song, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? But what is particularly interesting is that Marlene Dietrich gets caught up in this movement, and she also records a version of the song. We're not going to hear that, but I was sure shocked to see it.
If I had a hammer, I would hammer in the morning. Hammer in the evening, all over this land. I would hammer out that danger, hammer out a warning. I would hammer out
about love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a bell, I would tinkle in the morning, I would tinkle in the evening, all over this land. I would tinkle out that danger, tinkle out a warning. I would tinkle out love between all of my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a song to sing, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening time, all over this land. I would sing out that danger, sing out a warning. I would sing out love between all of my brothers and my sisters all over this land. I've got a hammer, I've got a bell, I've got a song to sing. I'm gonna sing this song, Jerry, and I've got to sing it. I've got to sing this song. It's the song of freedom. Well, just enough. I've got to sing this song. Lord have mercy, I've got to sing this song. I've got to sing this song. I'm gonna sing this song. Somebody help me to sing this song. Help me to sing this song.
When I was a young man, I'd never been kissed. I got to thinking about what I had missed. I found a girl, I kissed her and then, oh Lord, I kissed her again. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine.
He asked me to marry and be his sweet wife, that we would be happy all of our life. He begged and he pleaded like a natural man, and then, oh Lord, I gave him my hand. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. Oh, kisses.
I worked mighty hard and so did my wife, working hand in hand to make a good life. With corn in the fields and wheat in the bins, and then, oh Lord, I was the father of twins. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. Oh, kisses. we are old and ready to go, thinking about what happened a long time ago.
We had lots of kids and trouble and pain, but oh Lord, we'd do it again. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. Oh, kisses. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. Oh, kisses.
Music there from Jackson Browne and Bonnie Raitt doing the old Pete Seeger track, Kisses, Sweeter Than Wine. Now this next track we're going to listen to, I need to kind of tee it up a little bit. The lyrics were written about 4,000 years ago. They're included in the book of the Bible called Ecclesiastics. And Pete Seeger grabs those lyrics, puts a melody behind it, writes a song which is later interpreted by a Southern California soft rock kind of country-ish band called the Byrds, and it becomes a massive hit. But it's a Pete Seeger song. Turn, turn, turn.
Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow,
Music there from the Byrds and a guy named Roger McGuinn. He was at the Greenwich Village when it was all beginning, and he turns that into a kind of a Southern California sound of country and folk music called the Byrds. Take a brief underwriter's break, and we'll conclude our exploration of Libby Cotten, her song Freight Train, and how the banjo weaves its way throughout music, not only skiffle music over in England and Ireland, but in American music as well. We'll hear from the Grateful Dead, the Eagles, and Neil Young when we come back in just a moment.
I can't stay much longer, Melinda. The sun is getting high. I can help you with your trouble if you won't help with mine. I gotta get down. I gotta get down. Gotta get down to the mine. You keep me up just one more night. I can't sleep here no more. Little Ben clock says 7:45. You kept me up till 4. I gotta get down. I gotta get down, or I can't work there no more. A lot of poor men make a $5 bill, but keep him happy all the time. Some of the fellas making nothing at all, and you can hear him cry. Can I go, buddy? Can I go down? Take your shift after mine. Gotta get down to the Cumberland mine. Gotta get down to the Cumberland mine. That's where I mainly spend my time. Make good money, $5 a day. Made any more, I might move away. A lot of poor men got the Cumberland blues. He can't win for losing. A lot of poor men got to walk the line just to pay his union dues. I don't know now, I just don't know if I'm going back again. I don't know now, I just don't know if I'm going back again. I don't know now, I just don't know if I'm going back again.
Music there from the Grateful Dead. We're taking a look at how the banjo comes into American popular music. It's an African instrument. It comes through the Caribbean, ends up in the American South, and as we talked about early in the show, it leaps over to vaudeville music in England and comes up through the skiffle music and into classic rock with people like the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones. They all played the banjo. Then we're also taking a look at how it comes into American music. And we're going back to the fountain of Elizabeth Cotten, who, at the age of 11 or 12 years old, writes a song called Freight Train. She teaches it to the children that she's helping to raise, Pete Seeger and Pete's stepbrother and sister, Peggy and Mike Seeger, and they're each going to go off in a different direction, take that song with them, and push it into the American folk, the Greenwich Village, the skiffle movement in England, and it kind of becomes a foundational song written by a woman when she was 11 or 12 years old back in the early 20th century. It's just amazing stuff. But we're looking at the banjo, and perhaps one of the most familiar examples for most of us of banjo in a classic rock song is Take It Easy by the Eagles. Now, it's going to be played by a guy named Bernie Leadon, and Bernie is an amazing foundational figure in the Southern California folk rock movement. In fact, when Glenn Frey and Don Henley get together, they go out and hire two ringers, a guy named Randy Meisner, who was in a band called Poco and is from Mitchell, Nebraska, and Bernie Leadon, and they form this band called the Eagles and have, without question, the largest selling album in rock music history, including this song, Take It Easy.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna own me, 2 that wanna stone me, 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand. Take it easy. Well, I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, and such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say baby. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again. So open up, I'm climbing in. So take it easy. The sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. so much more. Live alone in a paradise that makes me think of two. Love lost, such a cost. Give me things that don't get lost, like a coin that won't get tossed, rolling home to you. Oh man, take a look at my life, I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. I want look in my eyes and you can tell that's true. Lullabies, look in your eyes, run around the same old town. Doesn't mean that much to me, to mean that much to you. I've been first and last, look at how the time goes past. But I'm all alone at last, rolling home to you. Oh man, take a look at my life, I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. I want look in my eyes and you can tell that's true. Oh man, look at my life, I'm a lot like you were. Oh man, look at my life, I'm a lot like you were.
And so evidently the banjo even made it to Canada. Music there from Neil Young playing a banjo in his famous track there, Old Man. And today we've traced how one song, Freight Train by Elizabeth Cotten, written at the turn of the 20th century when she was 11 or 12 years old, gets taught to her protégés, Pete Seeger and his stepsister Peggy Seeger and his stepbrother Mike Seeger. They each go off into different areas of the world, play this song, introduce it, transport the banjo into other forms of popular music, and it all bounces back into music that you and I grew up listening to. It's a fascinating story. Just really enjoyed trying to weave it all together. It took a while, and I hope you enjoyed it because we really put a lot of work into it. And if you think about it, if you take a look at the playlist, which is posted on the Pacific Street Blues Facebook page, it touched so many artists that you and I grew up with. Well, it's time for me to cut out of here, but there's a song that Pete Seeger really made famous for many of us, a song called We Shall Overcome. It's kind of a protest song, but it goes way, way back, almost to the time of Elizabeth Cotten writing Freight Train. And this particular version, we're going to hear it from Mahalia Jackson, a gospel version of it. And with that, we say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. Stay safe. Bye-bye now.
We shall overcome.
Yeah, Lord, Lord, Lord.
We shall overcome.
One sweet day, we shall overcome. One day, we shall overcome. One day, we shall overcome. The Lord one day. Yeah, 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 yeah. If in our heart we do believe, Lord, we shall overcome. Lord, one day. We shall all have peace one day.
shall all have peace one day. We shall all have peace, Lord, Lord, one day. Yeah, 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 yeah. If in our heart, Lord, we do believe, oh, we shall all have peace, Lord, one day. We shall all be free one day, Lord. We shall all be free one day, Lord. We shall all be free, Lord, one day. Lord, Lord, if in our heart, yeah, do believe, Lord, we